my brother locked me out of our family business just 2 weeks after our father's funeral, changed the access cards, wiped my name from the system, and told everyone I was unstable and dangerous. And the most painful part wasn't watching security stand beside him while he calmly said I was no longer welcome. It was realizing how easily people believed him, how quickly co-workers who once relied on me avoided my eyes, and how silently my own family accepted his version of the story. And as I carried a box of old files to my car that day, I remembered all the nights I had slept in the warehouse fixing broken routing software, all the supplier calls I handled when money was tight, and all the times my brother Ethan took credit for work he barely understood, but I didn't argue or shout, because long before that humiliation, my father had taught me something deeper about power, something Ethan never bothered to learn, because years earlier when the company almost collapsed from hidden debt and poor cash flow, my father had come to me quietly and asked me to rebuild the financial structure from the ground up, and over months I created layered holding accounts, backup credit guarantees, and contingency clauses that looked boring on paper but kept the company alive. And when my father signed those documents, he didn't give me a fancy title or announce anything to the family. He only said that I trust you, and that trust mattered more than any applause. So when Ethan replaced my photo in the office, mocked me at family dinners as just background, told relatives I was jealous of his success, and strutted around like a king while cutting corners he didn't understand, I stayed silent and watched as problems slowly grew. Suppliers waited longer for payments, experienced managers quietly left, drivers complained about broken promises, and gas reserves thinned while Ethan leased expensive new trucks to look powerful. And when creditors started asking questions, he panicked, not realizing the systems he ignored were the only thing holding everything together. And the day he stormed into Northbridge Bank, demanding a massive expansion loan to save his image, bragging about leadership and vision, he didn't notice me sitting calmly in the conference room until the bank manager stopped in mid-sentence, adjusted his glasses, and greeted me by name. And that single moment drained all the color from Ethan's face, because suddenly the room felt different, heavier. And when the manager explained that every major account and credit line ultimately required my approval as the controlling guarantor, Ethan laughed nervously at first, insisting I was irrelevant and fired, only to freeze when the banker calmly explained that you can't fire financial authority, and that without my signature, all accounts would be frozen within 48 hours. And as Ethan's voice cracked and his confidence collapsed, he accused me of betrayal, ignoring the fact that he was the one who locked me out, humiliated me, and erased me. And when he begged afterward, offering money, titles, apologies, and promises he never meant before losing control, I told him I never wanted power or revenge, I wanted respect, and the company didn't need someone loud, it needed someone responsible. And within days the board stepped in, contracts were reviewed, Ethan lost absolute control, and the same relatives who ignored my calls suddenly wanted forgiveness. But I chose something quieter, selling my controlling interest to stabilize the business and walking away without celebration. Because revenge wasn't watching him fall, it was knowing that patience outlasts arrogance, and sometimes the most powerful moment isn't when you shout the truth, is when someone finally realizes the authority they stole was never theirs. And as I drove past the warehouse one last time, I felt no anger, only peace, knowing my father had been right to trust silence over noise and substance over show. Because power doesn't announce itself, it waits, and when the moment comes, it speaks clearly enough for everyone to hear.